What's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bull Central here. Hope you're all doing well. So I wasn't planning on coming out with a video tonight, but after the Bulls' first win of the season, I wanted to come on and share my thoughts, as I think there were a lot of good things that came out of this game tonight. And I think what I was most impressed by was the fact that the group, they weren't discouraged after coming off that heartbreaking loss to the Warriors, which they should have won based on the missed calls, but we won't get into that. Rather, it seems like they used that as fuel to come out firing on all cylinders. Honestly, what I appreciated most of this game was the fact that the team finally played the full 48 minutes. That's what I've always harped on and what I've always wanted to see as a fan. They played hard with energy and effort on both ends of the floor. I mean, there's still things that still need to be worked on a bit. But overall, their defense was great. Their shooting and shot selection was solid. And guys, they actually moved the ball well. They played team basketball. 26 assists on the night. Coby White, Zach Lavine, Satoransky each all had 6 assists. Now, I know this might not seem like much to other teams, but this was one of the biggest issues with the Bulls last season, was that they were a horrible passing team. Most of the offense was structured around iso ball for Zach Lavine, and that was really it. Speaking of which, how about his stat line? 23 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals. The guy had an incredible night in leading his team to victory. Coby White, another great night for him. 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. He was plus 10 on the night. Wendell, another decent night actually. 10 points, 12 rebounds. And then the rookie Patrick Williams didn't have the best first half, but he came out swinging in the second. Finished the game with 12 points on 50% shooting. And how can we forget about Moneybags Otto Porter? Like I said before, he's a solid basketball player. He's just overpaid, but he has been a huge piece off the bench so far this season in leading that second unit. 16 points in 29 minutes, and actually Garrett Temple had a decent night as well off the bench with 12 points. He was plus 14 on the night. Now, the one downside of this game was that Markkanen did have to come out in the third quarter after he re-aggravated that calf contusion, so I do hope he heals quickly, as it would be a huge blow to the team for Markkanen to have a setback like that. He was listed as questionable for tonight's game leading up to the match, so I was actually surprised to see him in the lineup. Lauri did say after the game that it's too early to determine if he'll be ready to go on Thursday, where they'll take on the Wizards again. Now, what wasn't shown in the game that I was very pleased to hear about, and Casey Johnson reported this, but it was that Billy Donovan said the players gave him the game ball and he handed it to Arturas Karnisovas. And what I like about this is that it shows the players they trust in Billy Donovan as their coach, as their mentor. This obviously would have never happened under Jim Boylan, or even Hoiberg for that matter. They know this past week was rough, and you can tell Donovan, he legitimately cares about developing his roster. He's going to be hard on them, but he is also a fair coach, fair but firm. And they're going to be, a lot of growing pains along the way throughout this season, but sticking together and riding through it is what is going to be important. It's still going to be a long season, guys. Obviously, it feels great to get a win after a great team performance, but there is still a lot of work to be done. This is still a young team, and let's not forget their opponent is 0-4, so they're struggling as well. I have been a bit surprised by the slow start from the Wizards. I didn't have them in my top 8 teams in the East, despite most people feeling they would get that 8th spot with the addition of Westbrook and adding of Dia as a rookie, but they really haven't meshed well yet as a team at all. They've especially been bad in the fourth quarter. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, if this trend continues for the next few months, that Beal is going to want out of Washington, as I'm not sure him and Westbrook are going to fit well together. But, we'll save that for another day. Enough about the Wizards. The Bulls get their first win of the season. They move to 1-3 on the year. They'll be back with another matchup against the Wizards on New Year's Eve. That will be an early start time, 4 p.m. Central. As always, guys, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I post daily Bulls content. I'm also hosting a $50 gift card giveaway to the NBAstore.com. All you have to do is subscribe. Thanks again, and I will catch you guys in the next one.